All right. Good evening, everybody. Sorry for the slight delay. We've had a few issues with production getting it up in this background. We've had all the players come into the server. We're kicking off right away with the first game. I'm here, joined by Rensis this time. We finally get to cast together again. How you doing, man? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see this match since this is very exciting. Blue Jays against B, two very, very aggressive and strong teams. So I'm pretty excited how this is gonna turn out. I hope for an overtime.
An
I said
overtime,
we go
okay.
straight into it, right?
Yeah, we should be in map ban soon. As soon as they're ready.
Yeah.
We're just waiting on all of them to ready up, and then we'll get straight into the map ban. So I can already get some details on the game. So it's going to be Cafe. We're playing a best of one here between Blue Jays Talents, CIS region team, and then B, the Hungarians, a fairly well-known team at this point inside of T4. They've really made a name for themselves in the past few weeks, simply with their performance in some of the leagues, including Talent League. They're two teams that are toward the top of the table. They're in third and fourth at the moment. Blue Jays, I think, are sitting on 18 points, and B are on 14. Blue Jays, I think they've lost one game so far. Yes, they've lost a single game, and that was against Jobless. B have lost two. They've slipped up every now and then here in the minor league, but uh, they still have a chance of taking away Blue Jay Talent's spot. But that is only if they can beat them. So B can still get third. They can no longer get first or second because the two top teams right now, I think it's Jobless and Spirit, both of them are way ahead. They're both on 21 points. They both have won 7 games. So they're completely out of the league for B. So B is fighting for third. They're going to take it away from Blue Jays, but that is only if they can win today and they can win their next game next week as well.
Yeah, that's about it. And yeah, I think with that we're gonna start right into the match. Just to see how it's going. I mean, we're about 15 minutes behind. For you guys watching, it's I think even more. I think it's 19 minutes through to the delay. But we'll talk about that. We're going into the match. This is perfect. We're starting with the bands here. Blue Jays on the defense, and B's on the attack. This can turn out pretty interesting since this is very this is not as an easy as rushable map as Villa or Clubhouse or Coastline, which I don't even is in the comp pool anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right about that. Rushing takes some creativity if you want to do it here on Cafe. First ban out is from Blue Jays. They take out the Monty. Don't want to have to deal with that. Monty very strong for bakery takes, especially on the first floor. So it seems like Blue Jays don't want to deal with that. I don't know if they have some info on B specifically. B taking out the Flores, a fairly standard ban. Very oppressive character for the top floor. He can deal with a lot of destructive utility. He's a good counter to Azami. He's a good counter to Maestro. You can take out bulletproof cams. And on Cafe, there's way too many entrances for that Rotero drone. So taking that out, fairly common ban on Cafe. We'll see what they ban on defense. They might ban Azami. No, they're going with
Oh, and
Solus.
Solus. Damn.
All right.
Solus,
Solus very
nice
powerful
man.
on Cafe for vertical plays, both upward and downward. In kitchen, you can play from up above, and on top floor in cocktail bar, you can play from down below to deny the plant. And so with Solus taken out, that's going to enable a few more plants, maybe some smoke plants, maybe some fast plants. So B certainly looking to put up some pace. Okay, Blue Jays take up Mira last. Mira also very strong on Cafe, very versatile. There's a lot of very long sidelines that you can make, especially on the top floor through stock. And so taking that out, kind of a no-brainer if you're not going to play it yourself.
Let's take. And the Nug is open the first time on Cafe I'm casting. The first time I'm casting Cafe today with a no Nug ban. This is pretty interesting. We're gonna see a very nice lineup here. Not pretty much too shabby, especially no. Oh, the castle. Castle. I'm probably downstairs. No, top floor with castle. I'm quite thrilled to see where he's gonna place them.
I would assume it's going to be a piano setup. So most likely Fixer is going to set up for shop and piano. Probably going to castle a few windows. That's going to burn through a lot of utility on B. So they will have to bring enough explosives to deal with that. And as you said, no nuke ban immediately. Hazar, he's bringing it out. Nuck very powerful on this map because you can go up staircases unnoticed from time to time, and there's a lot that the defenders have to focus on. So Nuck sneaking by is something that happens quite frequently.
Definitely, I actually want to see some of these plays here done by Huzar, who is a very, very good and aggressive player, as seen in the past. And about that, like I think it was the Villa match against I think it was Firebird. I don't know if it was the main or NPC roster, but it was a very fast match to be honest. And but I think this is gonna turn out a little bit better since both of them are, as you said earlier, they're at the top of the leaderboard, and this is like a place for or the fight for the third game. And while we're talking about that, the first gunfight is going out, and Fixer is low in HP already, and Huzar is just doing as we told to, just pushing deep into side very fairly quickly. And Kazi's down on reading, trying to catch him off guard here.
Alright, the Nuck fast up brown stairs, something that you see quite often. Does a lot of damage to Fixer, but the kill doesn't get confirmed, and so a lot of damage exchanged. Hussar very close. Pulls himself away, not really choosing to take that fight. I don't know if he has info on where exactly Kazi is. Ooh, a nade coming in. That might kill the player. Yep. Hussar gets the opening pick. He takes down Sanity on the hatch. He has more info in vertical. Trying to connect the second nade. That one is not going to be quite on the mark as the player up above is on the other side of the hatch. So the Asami's safe for now, but still man advantage for B very early on here. A minute and 40 still left to go.
But there's a refrag, and the refrag is immediately being refragged. So this is kind of funny. And BLUEJAYS is still the man down. They have a lot of, still have like the top floor control at most, but Piano's being taken down now as Dent rotates away and leaves Atis alone in Piano, while Haribo gets Siri down. This is a 2 versus 4 now with over 1 minute and 10 still left to play this. Oh, and this is gonna be exciting. Oh, Haribo is going in, cannot see anything, but Kazi on the opening sees a fight, and I'm not sure if he could connect something. Oh!
Haribo's on for a triple and a quad. He gets 4 people in the round. B in the first round. The 2 entries doing a stellar job, bang up job. Hussar gets a nade kill, and immediately after Haribo, he trades him. He continues to get kills. The entries are doing their jobs, and I mean, for a first round, having your entry get 4 kills means that the rest of the team doesn't really have to do much. They've all just been droning and giving him info. Works out well.
Yeah, definitely, as you said. And it's just, again, a very aggressive push for, as usual, from B Esports here. The nades were perfectly, I mean, but you could see the communication was coming through there. I mean, after the first nade, Sanity moved instantly after getting pinged. So this is either just organic, or he just went for the usual game sense, which is a good play there. I couldn't imagine how the round could be even faster done if Sanity would have been vertical netted there as well, or somebody like Dent, who was, I think, on about he wasn't Castle last round, but the Castle last round.
Fixer, yes.
Fixer.
He was on 1 HP.
Fixer, who was on about like 1 HP for like, the entirety of the match before he died. Yeah, and about that, I really like the castle pixel here from BLUEJAYS, which is normally just seen downstairs, but they can definitely like lock up the top floor here and hold it a lot longer with the castle barricades here coming down. And I think we're gonna see a very vertical hold from Castle here. I think he castled himself off. I think he's just gonna play it to death, and I'm quite. I really wanna see how Dent is gonna play that here, and if they even.
Oh, this is a fast take into Bakery. Opening pick goes to Siri. Fixer gets another. There come the refrags from the entries. Haribo gets one with the pistol. Garen gets another. Traded back into a 3v3. They've gotten very fast into Bakery, but now taking into prep, Dent gets a kill from up above. Still having that vertical control means that pushing into prep is a death sentence, but Hussar gets another one, equalizing back into a 2v2. B have entered into Bakery very, very quickly here. Only a minute off the board, and we're in a 2v2.
It's very exciting how they can how they turned down like 6 people in the first minute, and Esports has a lot of time to play this down very patiently
nade.
right now. Oh, and Kasi's down to 1 HP again, then drops down to side, and this is coming down to, I think, just Dent here. Oh, he sees Haribo, who's trying to passing by through the bar, gets his head popped off, and it's Hussar on the red hallway. Jaeger swings, but he can get him in time before he gets the kill on him, and this is a 1v1 now, and with over 1 minute left, he has not a lot of time. He's still a drone, and he's using it to his advantage right now. Sees the kitchen is clear, and I think he's already can guess that he's in freezer.
Yeah, Hussar and Haribo really coming alive for being the first 2 rounds already. Putting some massive impact on the scoreboard, putting some massive kills up that are necessary for B to try and find these entries to try and get into the round. Still 45 seconds, he's recovered the diffuser now, he's going into sight, and then we'll have to try and stop this. Dent's behind the bomb, Plant is gonna go through, Hazard has it stuck, he's gonna stand up, he's gonna look behind the bomb, and he gets him as well. B gets the second round off the back of Hussar. He found the very pick in the game, and he's gonna find the last one here in round 2. Already up to 4 kills per entry, and that's a good performance from B.
Yeah, what a lively first and second round here. There's just, I think that BLUEJAYS is, you seem they're very, very strong, but they can't quite keep up with the pace that B is bringing to the table here. And I think with that, they really have to catch up with the kills, especially the entry kills, with this, in my opinion, like the most impactful kill of the rounds, of any round, since this mostly decides who's gonna play more passive and who's gonna play more aggressive. But even though what I wanted to say was at BLUEJAYS, even though they got rushed quite literally, were able to keep the man count on like an even score and trade out everyone of their teammates in a very quick manner, which just then came down to the late game, which they played kind of poorly. The Jaeger, I mean, swinging out too early, but I mean, Dodo is a great player. It wasn't Dodo, right? I'm not sure. The Nomad who was there was able to get a great clutch there, and I mean, the castle was like called probably like at the beginning of the round already, and it was kind of stuck in there. So no big blame on him here. And Hussar's already again in bar.
Yeah, he's been liking that Nook. He has gotten the clutch last round with the Nomad, but he's back on the Nook now. He's up on 4 kills, putting up massive numbers together with Haribo. Like I've said, I think these two have been very strong in this game already. Very consistently fragging out. Ooh, a Frost Mat nearly walks into that. Checks it last second. Now he gets some info off of a drone, but Sanity gets the first kill. Hussar, he re-peeks and finally finds Kazi. Bit of a late trade coming through, but Haribo down as well. So this time another opening pick for BLUEJAYS, but they don't go untraded for very long. BLUEJAYS, they can get the opener, but they can never keep that advantage. B always either have the advantage or gain the advantage through refragging, and this is something that BLUEJAYS need to start clamping down on. They need to start bringing some control into this game. Otherwise, they're gonna get outfragged every single time.
Yeah, you can see, I mean, BLUEJAYS does a great job of slowing down B Esports now after they lost 2 rounds to a very quick manner. And it just shows how strong of a team they are, that they're actually able to hold it down.
Shot.
Whoa, what a nice shot from Sanity there. Hussar is out, and no more neck for this game.
Alright, 2 in the round for Sanity. Man count back in the favor of BLUEJAYS, and let's see how long they can hold on to this one that time. This is the first real man count that they've been able to hold on to for an extended amount of time, and Atiz goes down as well. He's tagged up through the floor. He might be recoverable, but Sanity is on a tear right now around mining. Gets shot in the feet as well, but oh no! Sanity turns on it. He looks up and he finds Garen with a beautiful headshot. The player that was down is now recovered, but it's a 4v2, and they still have to try and deal with Sanity. They finally do. Gets tagged down low and then finally finished off inside of trains, and now they finally have that vertical control, but they're running out of time. It's 40 seconds left. But no, Dodo, he gets another kill onto Fixer, and suddenly we're back even. Blue Jays have forfeited that man advantage yet again.
Just trying to push in front, and Blue Dent gets Dudu out, and Artis is now left with only like 20 HP to his hands and 20 seconds on the clock. This is a very 20-second meta round right here. Okay, and I think he's going for the drop, but instantly gets fragged out there. Is not able to connect anything to Dent, connecting the little tootsies of Sledge there. And this is the first round for Blue Jays. Who can keep up the pace of Esports, which is quite interesting here. Quite exciting.
A beautiful triple kill for Sanity in the round, wasting a lot of time just shooting up at the ceiling up above and really having an impact on the round. And then ultimately in the 2v2, it's Dent that's able to come out on top in both of these last two remaining gunfights. And so Blue Jays, they can finally quell that aggression from B a little bit. They can finally get on top of that for a bit. It's what I mentioned, you know, the man advantage is very important, and if you can gain it, you need to try and hold on to it. And so far, Blue Jays haven't really done a good job of that whenever they've had it. It has usually left them the moment they acquired it. And so in this round, Sanity, he gets control, he gets a kill, he stays alive for a bit, he becomes a nuisance, he's just juggling around the players up above him, shooting at them. Really well played from him. And so that wastes just about enough time.
Yeah, that's actually it about that. I think what B didn't expect that hard of a backfire there on the top floor, but they wasted a lot of time there. And even though this is a very hard map to attack, in my opinion, they still did a great job of just pushing in like deep into there. But they seem to struggle a bit on the top down clear, which then I mean. The Valkyrie did a great job of not just downing one, but getting a second one. And I think that was it for the beginning. And as you said, with the man advantage from the start of the batch, I think this is about that. They were definitely in the favor for that. And I'm quite literally talking some weird stuff right now.
Right. I want to give a quick reminder that this game does have some implications for the group. This is quite an important game for B, not so much for Blue Jays. Since let me look, Blue Jays, they're up 6-1, so they're on 18 points. Even if B were to beat them in regulation here in this game, for now Blue Jays would still stay on top. But the problem is they make themselves vulnerable if they let B take this game, because B could win their next game. And then B would be able to jump Blue Jays depending on how their last game goes. And I don't think that Blue Jays has that easy of a match. I think their last game is, it's against Spirit, who are currently top of the group. So Spirit is 7-1, and that is going to be Blue Jay Talent's next opponent. So it's not going to get any easier for them. So they'd rather win this game right now, lock in 21 points, and compete for the top 2 spots instead of having to stave off B from taking their spot instead, because B is trying to jump Blue Jays and Blue Jays is trying to end the group in first.
Yeah, definitely, and we definitely see the motivation of both of these teams. And there's the castle again. I really like that. And yeah, just about that. I mean, B with a full Hungarian team here, I think, and Blue Jays Russian. It was Russian, I think, which are both known for having really, really good and cracked teams, and especially like in the top tier of competitive like Empire. I don't know about Hungarian teams, to be fair, but there's a lot of Hungarian teams in the tier 3 scene who are actually really, really good. Yeah, and we're seeing a top down. No, not top down, only one man on the top. I think Hussar's going for the bottom floor again, as it seems like that old Sanity has a shotgun. This can be quite interesting.
Yeah, so they're playing the castle on the double door on shop to protect them from the windows behind on stage. He's just going to play that shotgun for a red drop. In case anybody drops red or new hatch, he can just go for that shotgun and see if he can clean up any kills. That's going to make it extremely hard for B to clear him out without using any form of utility. They will have to use either flashbangs or maybe they can nade him out. it doesn't look like they want to go for the stage repel even. They don't want to get rid of that castle barricade. They're going to try and find different ways to get rid of this. As you can see, Dodo's down below. He's making vert holes. They're trying to get control of Cocktail, it seems. So making a lot of vert angles in Cocktail. Vert nades coming out as well. Hazard cooking a nade down below. Doesn't quite connect as Fixer moves himself to a safer spot. And with a minute and 30 off the clock, B have control down below, and it's looking like they want to get a Cocktail execute going once the time arrives. But for now, they still have a few points in the checklist to work through, and Sanity is certainly going to be a nuisance in the late round since they're not dealing with them right now.
Attackers dropped the diffuser.
Oh, what a
And
shot.
the first one comes out. Wow, Siri gets a pops off the head of Garen here, who's on the vertical repellent. No more fireballs for Esports here. The man advantage is again on sides of BLUEJAYS talents, who can at the moment still keep up the aggression of B. Oh, and Uzar, he comes up, gets the trade, but there's the insta trade from Siri again. They can keep up the good work, the momentum on their side. Oh, and the next one falls. It is Fixer. No, Fixer gets Dudu. Haribo's down as well, and Artis tries to repel in here on Heaven. Gets down immediately to about like 10 HP. Swings around, and Siri can connect his third kill of this round. All from Freezer.
All right, that was a very messy round from B. Good job from BLUEJAYS holding on. I think the shot from Siri onto the repel player onto the Capita was downright impressive. You take down the fireballs, you take down the smokes. It was also the diffuser carrier, if I saw it correctly. So you're completely denying the plan for the execute, because usually you want that Capitao executing, repelling into Cocktail, but he's the opening pick, and so he goes down first. And what followed was a very, very disconnected execute from B. I think Dodo went for a hatch drop or a skylight drop. Didn't really net him anything. He kind of just got stuck there prone and then died ultimately. And Siri able to hold down his position, also going for that trade onto Hazard. Hazard really making a play to open up that round. Sadly, he's only able to connect onto one. It's what we mentioned, the Nook. It's able to go up staircases when you least expect it. There's a lot that attackers, or defenders rather, have to deal with. And so Hazard can sneak by every now and then, and he did so successfully, but not without getting traded. And that shows you that BLUEJAYS' positioning is on point, because they're in range to refrag one another. And that's ultimately what can win you that round, because if you leave Hazard unattended, there's no way of telling how much damage he could do. But if you can just let him get a kill, shut him down after, and then watch that execute from B, which was very disgruntled, very separated, people going into completely different windows and different parts of the map. That's not going to work out.
And I think B has to allocate a new kind of strategy for their games now, since all of their attack rounds seem kinda like this rushy kind of style, since they've gotten away with that in the first two rounds and in many games before. But as BLUEJAYS, you can see here, they denied it. Like they've done it twice, and they learned it from that perfectly, and now they've just getting ahead of them quite a bit. Sanity gets the first bit of damage here, but can't get shut down here. It's especially as it's one my white here. Oh, here it's getting drawn out. Sorry, but I wanted to say is, I mean, BLUEJAYS is doing a great job of just denying the fast entry from B Esports here after they've gotten like 2 rounds down so quickly. And it's just, I think that just comes down to them having so much experience, especially against like good teams. And I mean, this is still a match of third place against on Talent League, where we have, as it just says, there's a lot of talent, and Dudu shows his talent again and gets Kazi out, gets the first kill for this match, and it gives the man advantage to B Esports.
Good crossfire, catching Kazi inside of reading, not letting him get away, clamping down on that roam, getting full top floor control. You can see B, they kind of tried starting with somewhat of a garage take, but also sending players up top. And so now they've gained full top floor control. They've done a full top down sweep. And you can see the Buck opening up the long angle onto the default plant, trying to clear out anybody that might be playing behind sinks. And with 50 seconds left, B have a lot of time that they can still use in their man advantage to just play vertical a bit, clear out some of these players, get some info on where BLUEJAYS is playing and what their plan is for the plant denial. And as we can see, Siri is playing the Echo, so that is definitely going to be a factor. With every second that ticks by, that operator becomes more and more important. Becomes a breach into Freezer, and so B will have to set up their execute very soon, otherwise Siri could probably foil their plans.
Yeah, and Fixer takes the engagement on Dudu, gets him down there. Oh, and this is the trade that they need for the last 14 seconds here. And now B has to rush flood side. Suzar gets down immediately. Sanity is the next one. Oh, and all of them fall like flies in a quick manner of not even 10 seconds. Wow.
Not really sure what happened there for B in their coordination. Again, they drop very separated. They're not really playing together for that execute. They're all just kind of trying to do their own thing at their own time, and that's not going to work because Dent just cuts down 2 of them, and BLUEJAYS clamp down on them, just completely denying that execute. You could see that B's aggression worked in the first 2 rounds, but ever since BLUEJAYS was able to just confuse them and slow them down a little bit, ever since that Sanity 3K, B have been trying to take this game a little more structured, and it's being punished harshly by BLUEJAYS talents because BLUEJAYS, they know how to identify the win condition in late round. It seems much better than B at the moment. And so BLUEJAYS, they move up 3-2. They could lock out a 4-2 half here, which is something that you would expect out of Cafe. You kind of want to go out of the defensive half with a 4-2, maybe even a 5-1 split. B can be happy with their 2, but of course, a 3-3 split does sound enticing, so let's see what they can put up in this one.
Definitely. Yeah, going for top floor take here again, or top floor hold. I think it's 3 people, yeah. I haven't sadly seen where Sanity put his cams. But he put them all down, yeah. What do you think about this match? Do you think this is gonna go in overtime?
I could certainly see it. I think at the moment I favor BLUEJAYS. Because B started out very strong, but we know that B are good when they're playing aggressively. And I think BLUEJAYS at the moment is really not allowing that. They're controlling the game. They really have the pace right now. So I could certainly see this be a close game, but I'm expecting maybe a 7-4 or a 7-5 for BLUEJAYS.
Okay, yeah, about that. BS seems to be quite repetitive with their attacks, which I didn't really expect, since they had enough time to prepare for this game, I think. And okay, and who's it? Huzar, who's already in piano, taking. No, it's not. Yeah, Haribo. It's Haribo taking the top floor, the west side of the top floor. Quite early here. Oh my god, no, it's not really early. It's about 1:45 now, and they still don't have that much map control. Ooh.
If taking control of piano, it looks like they might want to go for vertical play inside of trains. This could look like a dining execute. Might stick a guy onto the white rappel and then execute for trains and fireplace. Because at the moment, it doesn't look like they're trying to get any control of Cocktail. They're not really full clearing the top floor. But Sanity is still playing around Train's mining side. He's now moving himself toward Red Hall. And you can just see that BLUEJAYS have a lot of space to work with. They can move around fairly freely on the second floor. Opening pick goes to Haribo. He gets 1 and 2. Double kill for him. He takes down Dent and Fixer. They were trying to push him on white. He's really getting control of that. And no, I was lied to. B were actually going for Cocktail control. It didn't look like that, but now they have full top floor control, and with 50 seconds left on the board, they could adapt and go for a reading execute, because they have a heavy man advantage. They're up 5v3. Sanity gets tagged down to low HP as well, and so they could certainly execute reading here. Kazi trying to take a fight onto Haribo. He wins it out. Hazar gets one onto Siri, though, and so bad turns to worse for BLUEJAYS. As Sanity is low, Kazi is tagged up, and with 30 seconds, they don't really have a whole lot of denial to try and get rid of this planter here. Default plant coming through, coverage from above, coverage from pillar. And the Jaeger's trying to stop that plant unsuccessfully. Garen gets the plant down. He does die, but gets traded from a tease. And with 40 seconds left on the defuse timer, Sanity is in a 1v3, I think. Doesn't get that. And so, B, a very good execute. I was honestly thinking that they weren't really good with identifying the win condition when they were playing this slow. But I mean, Haribo opens up the round completely with that 2K, and suddenly B are able to get a very confident execute through.
Yeah, that was very quick, very distinct. They thought very thoughtful to be precise there. They took their time and still were able to not play this down to I think 20 seconds or something, which I think really decides how good a team is playing. If you're able to play slow but still be quick enough to have enough time to get your execution done, and they've done that so good and so well here with the 2 opening frags that they had a man advantage from like the early phase of the round, which then gave them enough mental pressure onto their enemy. Yeah, and about that, I'm kinda surprised we've been in a 3-3 split here, which I have not expected, but I'm quite thrilled to see.
All right, you might not be that wrong about the overtime. A fairly close game between these two so far. I think 2 separate styles clashing. And at first it was BLUEJAYS that were a little confused about how B played, then BLUEJAYS adapted, and then B were a little stumped, and now B have adapted again, and so I think we might see a back and forth continually between the 2 teams trying to adapt around one another, and that's something that I really like seeing. We see some different playstyles and some very different strats going through to try and adapt around what your opponent is doing. So you're not just doing the same thing over and over and failing every single time. That's something that you see a lot inside of T4. That's something that you sadly see way too much in amateur competition because, you know, people have one way of playing the game, and when that doesn't work, they just try it again, but harder. And usually hitting your head against the wall multiple times is not gonna make it any less painful. But these 2 teams have been adapting well. Kazi gets the opening pick, so attackers really getting some good map control. BLUEJAYS moving inside of the map, getting a lot of drone info. And Dodo goes down early. That's the Legion taken down, so a few goo mines I think that are prevented that were still in his pocket at the time. So BLUEJAYS with that man advantage can just play a lot of vertical now and see what they want to go for, see where these players on B are.
I completely agree with you here, Reaper. We've in matches like these, we often see very one-dimensional and very one-sided or monotone push from most of the teams, and it's quite refreshing to see such a good game here. Oh my god! And while I'm talking about that, Dent gets Hussar, who gets the frag on Kazi, and the soft reach is out now, which makes the whole process here a lot harder, which only leaves Siri to get some vertical control here to pressure the kitchen side a bit more.
Yeah, Kazi is definitely asking himself right now, where the hell did that warden come from? Hazar is just sneaking into positions where he absolutely shouldn't be. It doesn't matter that he's not on attack anymore. It does not matter that he's not playing the Nook. He's still getting into these very weird and ratty positions. Garen, in the meantime, he's using that new Tachanka buff with the 2x, and he collects 2 kills from inside of VIP. That's beautiful. Shutting down 2 separate players on BLUEJAYS, and with 25 seconds left, suddenly, BLUEJAYS, they're at a man disadvantage. They only have Siri and Sanity, and B still have 3 of their players up. Siri gets a tease though, Haribo trades back onto Sanity, and so it's only down to Siri. He's found 1, but he'll have to find 2 more. He knows where 1 is, trying to connect the shots onto him, but no, Garen gets a triple in the round. He shuts it down. That VIP position not to be trifled with. And B move up 4-3.
Wow, that was fairly quick and fairly strong. I didn't expect that kind of defense of EB Esports, but you can see they definitely are respecting their enemies there. They're not overpeaking anything. They're not too aggressive, not too shabby on their side, to like they were on other maps where they just were mostly roaming and were going like definitely greeting for kills, I would say. And now they play this down way more cautious, way more thoughtful, and it works out pretty well. And we're seeing reading And
Yep.
I think it's... What is the other
Fireplace.
side called again? Fireplace. I have a
Fireplace
little
or
bit of
dining.
dementia right now. My bad.
It's fine, it happens to everyone. Okay, I'm thinking right now in terms of wall denial for pillar, there is only the mute. So they're playing Haribo, he's gonna play wall denial for that. So the moment that the moment that BLUEJAYS, sorry, get top floor control, they're gonna be able to open up that wall as long as they're bringing hard breach. Yes, Sanity's playing Hibana. So certainly looks like BLUEJAYS could go for top floor sweep, they could get pillar control, and then they will execute reading in a similar fashion that B was able to do it on their attacks. Ooh, Atis is going for a spawn peek. Alright, he went for a staged spawn peek and he connects onto Den. That's the sledge down. Gonna make it a little more difficult to get the hatches open. Thankfully, they still have Fixer. He does have a DMR that you can open hatches with. But that's two nades off the board. That's very good utility, and it doesn't get traded back, so good spawn peek.
It's funny how we just talked about that B is not spawn peeking or over aggressing here.
Yeah, you
They
said they're
still
not
get-
as aggressive in early round, yes, and then immediately Atis goes with the spawn peek. He just really wants to prove you wrong today, Rensis.
Yeah, but I love that they're still able to get the beloved spawn peek, and I think that BLUEJAYS didn't expect it.
Yeah, the caster
After
curse
that-
coming true.
Yeah, it's always the caster curse. So I would not say anything about the score here anymore. I'm not gonna I forgot my English. Let's go.
Oh no! Oh, no.
Trade.
Kazi, no, that's your teammate. Nice shot from Dodo as well. The BM coming through. No, that's the wrong person. That's gonna be difficult for BLUEJAYS. They've already lost a player to a spawn peek and now one to a team kill. They're dealing with themselves at this point. Kazi nearly goes down to an explosive. I don't know what that was. Atis gets a C4 kill. In the meantime, Sanity and Kazi get 2 back. Suddenly we're in a 2v3. A lot of players falling like flies. Top floor control gain for BLUEJAYS. And they still have a minute and 10 left to play with. Not a whole lot of vertical. And so the players inside of site, for instance Haribo, are going to be fairly safe wherever they're playing. BLUEJAYS will have to find an opening into that round somehow. And I think it's looking like Sanity might... I think he might have gotten the jammer off the wall. Maybe going for that wall opening? No. Not at the moment. Just on top floor, stalling a little. BLUEJAYS not really sure what to do, trying to see if they can find an opponent. They see Garen on bottom wide. Now they're pushing down wide. Haribo cuts down one. That's Sanity. Now it's only down to Kazi. He has 40 seconds, but he has 3 opponents to go up against, and there's yellow pings on him as well, and Haribo connects into the second. Beautiful 2 shots from Haribo there on bottom wide. And B, they continue building their advantage. They're now up 5-3.
Yeah, BLUEJAYS really have to wake up now or never. Since okay, and you see they're gonna take the timeout. That's it perfectly. They did that right now. If BLUEJAYS really have to come back right now or never, as I said like twice. Since I mean they were able to capitalize good of their early frags if they weren't getting refragged. But the thing is, B Esports is so aggressive, and they're so good in their not only attacks and but their defenses as well. They're such a played-in team. It's hard to play against them. It's probably a very they're so good at just refrags at all and getting the man advantage early, and they've not been that repetitive. They have switched up any of their attacks pretty good. Like they not attacks defenses. As their first defense was pretty passive, they went with the second one being completely the opposite way, and they completely went for spawn peaks and pushes and held down BLUEJAYS kind of aggressively there, which worked out in the end pretty well.
All right. Yeah, certainly good adaptability coming out of B, but I'm curious to see what this timeout is going to do for BLUEJAYS, because I've talked about how both these teams have been adapting to one another throughout the match. It's not been a stale, let's do the same thing again and hope it works this time. It's been more of a attempting different things and seeing how you can play into your opponents, trying to find opportunities, read into situations, and you know, try and shot call wherever you can. And for the moment, B is coming out ahead in that because they've been the team that's been adapting a little better. They've been the team, especially Haribo and Hazard, have been very good with their gunfights. They've been getting a lot of engagements that have gone their way. And so BLUEJAYS, I really like that they've taken the timeout. There's a lot of teams here in Talent League that just don't take timeouts whatsoever, even if they're losing 0-6.
Nobody knows why. Nobody knows why. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. You have a timeout, why don't you use it? You might as well use your timeout if you have one while you're losing. You can at least, if you're not going to talk about anything, at least slow them down, you know? At least don't let them feel too confident about rolling over you. And so I think this was taken at a really good time because they're down 2 rounds. It's not quite match point yet, so I don't really think, you know, you can always take timeouts at match point, but that might be too little too late. And so BLUEJAYS take it at a 3-5 scoreline. That's a decent time to talk through some things and see what you can change. Because you can still turn this around. BLUEJAYS, you know, they're behind right now, but they're still technically only 4 rounds away from winning this game in regulation. In the meantime, Dent gets the opening pick onto Hazard. Hazard, a strong player for the side of B, and Dent shuts him down here from the rappel. First minute of the round, and that's man advantage for BLUEJAYS early again.
And the guy, Garen in Cocktail, does a great job of cutting down Kasi here, evening out the man count, and still trying to hold down the player here. Oh, and the wall, the headshot. Oh, and Haribo gets the second one. Oh, what a nice play from Fixer there. Gets 3 people. At tries to get a refract there on balcony, but gets shut down easily. And then answers back with the kill on him. And now Dude in a 1 versus 4 situation. He has to get aggressive here. Otherwise, it doesn't look good for him. Since even Esports has, oh, not Esports, BLUEJAYS has over 1 minute 30 to play this down. And this doesn't look good at the moment for him.
He's inside of the side, he's been pressured back, there's some yellow pings coming through, he's trying to take the fight onto the IQ, loses it. Siri's able to get that last kill, and a really confident round from BLUEJAYS. That timeout seemingly doing something for them. A good opportunity there, read by the Yana to just crouch walk up inside of inner long bar, finding 2 kills on that top floor. Dent also able to punish any aggression coming through to try and swing onto a pillar, and B, I think, stepping out of line a bit, and BLUEJAYS now finally punishing that. And so the back and forth continues. We're back on a 4-5 scoreline. Still a very close game. We're nearing your overtime, Renses. We're nearing your overtime.
Yeah, come on, give me the overtime, guys. Come on, BLUEJAYS. Come on, B. You got this. You can get... I really want to see this going overtime, since most of the teams are gonna pull out some very unusual strats then. And I'm really sniping for these.
Yeah, I mean, going OT, I think going OT would certainly favor BLUEJAYS when it comes to the scoreboard for the minor league at the moment. Because BLUEJAYS, they could do with any point at the moment. I think B, they want to get all the points, all of them. Overtime is going to be painful for them, even if they win, because, you know, you don't get the full 3 points, you only get 2 when you win in overtime, because it's a 2-1 split instead. And that would be punishing for them on the scoreboard. On the other hand, BLUEJAYS, I think they'd be fine with it. They just want to get whatever they can try and secure. Of course, they are vying for that top spot.
Oh, no.
Alright, I'm being interrupted. Hazard going down early. I think he went for the run out, jumped back in, and got injured on the way back in the animation, and so he survives it barely. But only a little bit of damage done to Siri, and Hazard is down to 20 HP, so not an optimal run out, not really working out. We've seen a spawn peek from a tease that worked out really well, but Hazard trying it again, getting punished this time around by BLUEJAYS. Doesn't pay the ultimate price quite yet, but there is now some footprints being tracked from him as well, as he has put his footprints outside. So the Jackal on the board can just keep track of wherever that Warden might be going next. Kazi now on top floor as well, just getting some control up above, making some vert holes, trying to get train control. And yet again, it looks like BLUEJAYS are going for something similar to what they did the last time they were here on Kitchen. They're just trying to get top floor control, they're trying to play vertical, they're gonna see where these B players are, and hopefully this time, not have 3 people die to Garen.
I don't know, but B seem a bit scared. They're not taking the engagements like they used to in the last rounds. With 2 people being down.
I mean, Hazard tried.
Yeah, he was really actively looking for the engagement and was shut down immediately. It was lucky for him that he survived there, to be fair. But Blue Jays did a great job, and since the first spawn pick, they'll not let that happen again. Due to on Fireplace tried to shut down one of the Blue Jays players before he could get some of the vertical pressure, but he couldn't quite connect the shots there. I think nobody actually got some damage from that, and he's now back in Bakery, and Blue Jays is able to get a good chunk of vertical control. As nobody of B is gonna go for a flank there, and all on the basement. On the bottom floor with 45 seconds left. Oh, I can't talk. Oh my god. Oh my god, and there's the swing. Then gets Artis, the first one out. This is not good, not looking good for B. There's the second one. Oh, and he just overswings this, and Siri cannot quite see Garen there, and just munches him off the board. Wow.
Yeah, Garen's in the sacred spot again. He got 3 kills in VIP last time, and with 20 seconds left on the board, Blue Jays have not been able to clear him out. He's still just playing this position, and he's playing it very well. Dent gets another kill into Hazard inside of the site. Now comes the player trying to collapse onto him. Dodo does take him down. Fixer gets one back onto Garen, Fixer takes down Garen, but Dodo gets a kill as well. So now we're in a 2v3 for B. Sanity gets another onto Haribo, so it's only down to Dodo. Plant is going to come down, and Kazi does cover the plant, and Blue Jays, all right, a bit of a messy start, a bit of a late execute, but they do finally find Garen, and they do finally get the control they need to start getting that plant down. And they're able to find the kills, and so Blue Jays, they've taken that timeout, they've stormed back with another 2 rounds, and we're on a 5-5 split, which means we're going to see all 12 rounds, and overtime is starting to look very likely, Rances.
Yeah, oh my god. And I didn't, I mean, it's quite funny to see that they are able to get back here, since I don't know, it's since it's became quite normal to see teams get like 3 rounds in a row to get their momentum back, and then just that momentum completely switching and the other team completely coming back to that, which is kind of funny to see, and just shows the mental power of both of these teams, that they're able to keep this up and not give up too early, since most of the teams, if you on a 5-2 split, or not a 5-2 split, on a 5-2 score, most teams are down morally very hard, which Blue Jays, as you see, didn't were, and they played it down fairly well, did their good job on the, not only once, not only twice, but 3 times in a row, and yeah, I'm not gonna add anything up to that. I think it just turns down.
I want to point out, I'm not really sure why Kazi might be bringing the IQ. I mean, the Commando is a good weapon, don't get me wrong. The Breach Chargers, I mean, if you're gonna play vertical, sure. But there's no Valk on the board. I don't know if Blue Jays know that from droning in the early round. There is a mute on the board, so of course not a whole lot of droning going to happen, especially with the mute and Mossy combo, something that we've seen in previous metas has become very oppressive. You're not allowed to drone anything, you can't get information on anything. And so opting for that IQ, what are you looking for? You're looking for mute jammers, maybe Wamai magnets or pests, but I mean, you can spot most of them naturally, because you're going to encounter the aura of the mute jammer, for instance. And the Mozzie pests do give you a warning. So some droning coming out now. They know where the Mozzie is. He's playing around Pixel side. He's going to back off a little. No, he's just moving back and forth on White Hall. Now some top floor control gain from Fixer, moving himself into the shop. They're going to try and get Pixel control. Going to move up to get that White Hall control, and they're going to clear this out slowly, methodically. Haribo inside of mining. Garen still contesting that top floor. Dodo gets the opening kill into Dent. Alright, Dent, top fragger for the Team Blue Jays. He's 11 and 8. Won't be able to find any more kills this round as he's taken down. Opening pick goes in favor of B. And so with 1:20 left, Garen still has that top floor control. He does get droned out. Fixer finally gets a kill back onto Dodo. Bit of a late trade yet again. And Siri gets Garen on top floor as well. There we go. That's top floor control gained now. Atiz finds one back onto Kazi. And there's a lot of back and forth happening between these two. Even man count right now.
Damn. This is... I'll bet this is going to overtime on Blue Jays. Or otherwise, Blue Jays is just completely coming back from this 2-5 and just shutting this down 7-5. I think this is actually what could be possible here. I mean, it's still a 3-3. I'm not gonna overextend about that. Oh, and while we're talking about that, there's another engagement coming in hands. Here we get some damage, and Mozzie's just waiting a tease here for him to get the swing around him. Misses it sadly, gets shut down. There's the answer from Haribo on Sanity. Gets instantly refragged from Siri, and oh, Huzzah gets the next refrag. Oh my god, I don't even know what's going on anymore. And Fixer has the diffuser in hand. 15 seconds, full HP. Huzzah as well. He has not that much time. As he is on 90 now, he has to swing the head holds now. He knows where Huzzah is, but he cannot quite connect it, and he gets the headshot on him, on Ayana there, and gets the round here again for B.
Hazard again. Yeah. The back and forth between these two teams has been unreal. And Hazard in that 1v2 able to clutch it up. Okay, boom. B move on to match point. I was speaking a little too fast there. And so now Blue Jays, if they want to stay in this game, they have to make it to OT, and they're awarded with another timeout as B are choosing to take their tactical timeout. That round might have been a little too close for comfort for them. This was 3 rounds in a row now that looked fairly confident from Blue Jays. It was ultimately down to Hazard, who was able to find a 1v2 that gave B this match point. And so B, despite being on match point, despite having the advantage, despite winning that round, they're still shaken. They're still not happy with that performance. And so they're taking a timeout. They've got a minute to talk things through. They can see what they want to do. Of course, on the defense, there's so much that you can talk about before going into setup. On the attack, you kind of have to play around whatever the defenders want to throw at you. But on defense, you can really innovate. And so, curious to see what B is going to bring out in this final round of regulation. Could be a 7-5, or we'll go into overtime.
I think this is gonna go to overtime. Now, I don't think, I hope this is going to overtime. Because the
caster bias.
The caster bias, yeah. We've seen, again, we've seen both of these teams trading back and forth so much, and just that both of them are able to keep the pace up on the enemy, and just being able to come back to that just shows how even of a score this is and how close this is gonna get to the end. So the timeout from B Esports, I think it's very well brought here, because it just gets a little bit more of the momentum break there after they finally got a round back of 3 rounds of losing back to back, to get this even down again to a 5-5, which is now a 5-6. And for the last one, we're gonna see Kitchen with the Goyo and the smoke. A lot of area denial.
Yeah, a lot of area denial, and especially that Goyo. You know, it can be difficult to use Goyo effectively, and there is a few counters to him, of course, but if you can use him right, especially on the bomb site, there's so much time that you can potentially waste with that operator, because every single one of those canisters burns for 20 full seconds. So if you have 2 canisters next to each other in the same spot and you detonate them one after the other, you can deny an area for 40 seconds straight, and then on top of that, they're bringing Haribo on the smoke. And so he's going to be able to deny another roughly 45 seconds if he uses all 3 of those canisters. That's half the round gone. You can deny a spot for half the round. And by the time that Blue Jays are going to get into that position, by the time they can get into that position, by the time they can be on the first floor, there's going to be at least a minute off the clock already, because they have to give B the courtesy to drone the entirety of top floor. As C4 comes out, a pre-placed almost connects onto Kazi. He barely gets away with his life there, bolting over the ticket minibar, and Atiz gets the opening kill, gets traded back by Dent through the barricade. Right, Atiz almost getting away with murder, but is punished by Dent on the way out. And so we're in a 4v4. Blue Jays a little shaken, but they find that kill back, and so stem the bleeding. They still have a chance at this. They need this round if they want to go to OT.
Yeah, Blue Jays very confident in the top floor clear. Do it quite quickly here, getting top floor control fairly easy. And now, even they're already on reading, going for the vertical holds here. Yeah. Oh no, wait, no, okay, there's no vertical holds. that are gonna be taking place. So they can only go for the hatches, and this is one of the only opportunities. It's not looking good, as like vertical is like the most powerful way to play the kitchen side down here. But with the hatch being open, this opens up some more opportunities to push side there, and a lot of pressure on B Esports sides. But Haribo getting flashed out here again, and they really have to get him out here quite early to get some bar control here, as it seems to be a freezer push now,
Geez.
which is the only way to go for that. Oh my god, it smokes. Smoke is deep into the side, but gets shut down by Dent. Huzar's down. Haribo with the refrag on Fixer, and the next one from Dodo. This is not looking good for BLUEJAYS at the moment.
B so close. They can feel it now. They have man advantage. There's very little time remaining. It's only down to Sanity and Syria. I've seen this before on the first floor. It was down to them as well. And Sanity went down just like last time. Haribo gets one and the second. B close it out in regulation. A 7-5 victory. Closely contested. These teams not giving each other an inch on this map. But B able to come out on top. That VIP hold way too strong for them. And just like we talked about, so much time wasted from those Vulcan canisters and from the smoke babes. Able to deny that spot for so long on bottom. Why? They're just, BLUEJAYS not able to pull through with that. And so, B take it. They stay in the running for third place.
Damn. That was a very intriguing first match for today. Just to see this back and forth on a map like this, which is in most cases very one-sided, very defender-sided, very basic, and in my experience for the viewership, quite boring. It's very boxy. It's very cool to see just them playing that out so good so quickly, and all in all, I would say this was one of the best matches so far in the last 2 or 3 Playdays.
Yep, certainly a game deserving of the third and fourth place in the league inside of this minor group. Very hotly contested, these teams ultimately with that 7-5, but that game is over. We'll move on to the next one once we have some info on that, but for now we'll go for a quick break and then we'll be right back. I might leave, Rensis is gonna stay here, and then I might show up later again, not sure yet. We'll see about that. We'll see if we can get some information on the upcoming games, and we'll be back.
You can do that, bro. You can do that.